This video is brought to you by America First Insight. Help support the growing conservative movement by becoming a member today. And if you want to support this channel, you can also use the code REAL when becoming a member. Thank you and enjoy the video. As everyone probably knows, John Fetterman, the senator of Pennsylvania, has been one of the more halfway sane Democrats in the Senate. Now, does that mean he is a true moderate or a conservative Democrat? No, far from it, in fact. He still votes Democrat the vast majority of the time. Yes, once in a while, he might vote okay on some issues here and there, but still, he is a partisan Democrat most of the time. He's just halfway sane where he will say, okay, Trump is right on this issue. We have to have secured borders or something like that. Once in a while, he says the correct thing. However, that does not make him a moderate Democrat or whatever you want to call him. So you would think, okay, he votes Democrat 95% of the time. You would think that would be enough for the Democrat base. But nope. Despite being in a swing state like Pennsylvania and still voting with you 95% of the time, the Democrat base absolutely hates John Fetterman. Look at this headline right here. Progressive effort to primary Senator John Fetterman ramps up. You can't make this up. He votes in line with you 95% of the time, but because it's not 100% of the time, that's a Democrat in name only. He's a dino. He's a moderate. And now there are serious groups pushing to get John Fetterman primaried out in 2028. He just, wow. These people are actually delusional. They really think he's a conservative Democrat or whatever because he says we need a secured border. Maybe some of the rhetoric is too much on the left. It's stuff like that. It's nothing groundbreaking. It's not like he's saying, oh, we have to ban all immigration or something like that. No, it's just, hey, maybe we gotta chill out a little bit. That is enough to make the Democrat base hate him. Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania isn't up for re-election until 2028. But that isn't stopping his one-time progressive allies from accelerating their effort to challenge him in a primary. On Friday, the Working Families Party launched a new website, primaryfetterman.com, that will serve as a hub for its effort to unseat the senator. It features pages dedicated to opposition research on him, volunteer recruitment, and even a link to request donation refunds from his campaign, which a party said it will promote via digital ads. And this is a real website. This is a real website that the Working Families Party launched. And if I'm being honest, this is the most pathetic thing I've ever seen. Like, this is their website, all right? This part right here is the quote-unquote sellout tracker. And there's 4 things they're talking about. Screwing over working people. And they say Fetterman was the deciding vote for Trump's Republican budget bill, eliminating health care for millions of Americans, including 400,000 Pennsylvanians, which is ridiculous. How many times we got to say this? No, these bills do not gut health care for millions of people. That is a lie. It is complete bullshit. They keep pushing it. They're so deranged. They now believe their own bullshit. And look what these bullet points right here. Fetterman consistently undermined Democrats' negotiating position on health care, repeatedly making inflammatory statements that the right wing used to blame Democrats. And one of the clips they quote is this one right here. It's a clip of Fetterman going on Fox News, and rapid response, they used it. This is considered inflammatory or whatever. Fetterman, all he said was, it is always, always wrong to shut our government down. So according to these nutcases, him saying, hey, maybe a government shutdown is not the best idea. Maybe we shouldn't do that. According to them, no, that is inflammatory. That is an insurrectionist statement or something crazy like that. Seriously, this is considered inflammatory. But that's how deranged these people are. You disagree with them and they think, oh, that's inflammatory. That's insurrection. And the other stuff is just stupid. It's just a lie. They're saying healthcare premiums went up 114%. Really? Seriously? They're claiming that. It's like, what are you talking about? And the funniest one of them all is Fetterman supported Brooke Rollins be Secretary of Agriculture. Guess what? So did like 20 other Democrat senators. Yeah, it was not just John Fetterman. There was like 20 other ones that voted for her. Same thing with Rubio. These attack lines suck. Rollins oversees the SNAP program, providing benefits for hungry people, and has started to withhold benefits for political gain. Political gain? You mean preventing fraud? It's just insane. They're just inverting reality. They're making stuff up, and that's what they're running with. But they know their deranged base believes this shit. And the other things as well, enabling Donald Trump. Fetterman has voted for more of Donald Trump's nominees than any other Democratic senator. So, even if Fetterman voted no on every single one of these nominations, guess what? They still would have been forced through. So it changed nothing. Oh, he voted 50% of the time for Trump's appointments. Who cares? They would have all gone through anyways. He only votes yes when it's clear there's no way that that vote's going to fail. That's how he's able to say, see, I'm a bipartisan Democrat. Seriously. One of three Senate Democrats to support Lee Zeldin, supported Mike Huckabee, Pam Bondi. They all would have been forced through. I just can't get over this. You're telling me that that's the end of the world? That's your reason you're enabling Trump? Seriously? Fetterman has voted for numerous Trump-backed legislative efforts, among all votes, which includes nominees, appointments, bills, resolutions, and others. Fetterman has voted with Donald Trump's position 25% of the time, the highest of any other Democrat senator. Wow. 25% of the time. That's the most moderate pick. It's not even 40%. It's not even 30%. And that 25%, that includes bullshit resolutions that are like unanimous. That it's like it passes no matter what. You take those out, you include only ones that have a chance at seriously failing, it's down like 5%. Fetterman was the only Senate Democrat to support a resolution reversing Joe Biden's restrictions on oil drilling in Alaska, which is common sense. This stuff is just common sense stuff that you have to support to win in a state like Pennsylvania. Yeah, we're not talking about a Democrat state like Maryland or even New Jersey. This is Pennsylvania. It's a 50-50 state. It's one of the biggest swing states in the country by far. It's critical for both sides. And Fetterman, he's been a very moderate Democrat because he knows if he's not, he's going to lose. We're talking about a state Trump won by like 2 points. There's other stuff. They're mad he supports Trump's idea to purchase Greenland. Seriously? Only Democratic Congress to visit Trump in Mar-a-Lago? This stuff is just resists liberal crap. They're just upset he's halfway sane. He may vote Democrat 95% of the time, or they claim 75% of the time. They're more upset at the fact that he's not batshit crazy. He's one of the few Democrats who, yeah, he's full of crap, but at least he'll pretend to look moderate and say, no, maybe we shouldn't oppose Trump at every turn because Orange Man bad. Maybe we should try to talk to him and make a deal. Hell, Elizabeth Warren right now is working with Trump on credit card stuff. So this whole thing is stupid. And it keeps going, skipping work. Wow, he missed a bunch of votes. Which, fine, that might be a semi-reasonable criticism of him. Fine, whatever. And betraying vulnerable people. Yeah, of course, we're gonna bring up ICE. What happened in Minneapolis. Just wow. Wow. That is what they're attacking Fetterman on. You can clearly tell they are only appealing to the nutcases within their own party. They have convinced themselves that, oh, Fetterman is voting with Trump 90% of the time. He's the reason Trump's agenda is going through. No, it's not. Sure, he might have voted for Rubio in a unanimous vote. Wow. He's really backstabbing the base. For somebody that every other Democrat supported. It's just insane. This whole effort is batshit crazy. And apparently, according to the Working Families Party, has generated more than 425 signups for potential candidates who want to run against him, volunteers who want to work on an effort to unseat him, or donors who are interested in funding a primary campaign against him. So already, within like a day of this, they have a bunch of nutcases already supporting this. Yeah, we have to stop Fetterman. And is anybody really surprised that he's more popular with Republicans than Democrats? Yeah. Right now, according to Emerson College, he's a negative 17 with Democrats, but plus 32 with the GOP, which Republicans, they should wake up to the fact that he's a fake moderate. He's not a real one. But seriously, Democrats hate him this much because he votes in line with you only 90% of the time? Seriously? Meanwhile, there's like 5 or 6 Republicans in the Senate at least that right now you're lucky they'll vote in line with you 70% of the time. If you're lucky, people like Murkowski, people like McConnell, John Curtis, uh, even Susan Collins, and she has an excuse. But guess what? Republicans have to deal with it. But Democrats, though, they have one person that's not 100% or 99%. They have one, and they lose. They lose it. I'm just stunned that they're actually going through with this. We kind of heard about this for a while, that Democrats were upset with him. But I thought, okay, they're not going to actually try to primary out Fetterman or whatever. But no, they have convinced themselves that he is secretly an agent of Trump and he is going to work with a GQP or whatever. Seriously, they're mad that he supports buying Greenland. They're mad that he supported the strikes in Venezuela. That seriously, that's what you're upset about. It just resists liberal garbage. You can tell right away if they're talking about Greenland or Venezuela. If that's what they're focused on, or God knows what, like Doge or something crazy like that. If they're focused on stuff like that, you know damn well these are a bunch of resist liberals that have convinced themselves that Fetterman is an agent of Trump and Putin, and he needs to be stopped because he is working with the Orange Man. Not some real criticisms. There's like one semi-valid criticism. He skips work. Okay, fine. You're elected to be a senator. Show up and vote. Fine, whatever. But this other stuff, it's just nonsensical crap. It's just slop. That's the best way to put it. It is just slop for resist liberals to like consume. He voted for Pam Bondi. Who gives a shit? Who cares? If this was a Democrat state like Maryland, that's one thing, but it's Pennsylvania. It is a swing state. You're not talking about some D plus 50 area. You have to have halfway sane votes once in a while. And even then for Fetterman, most of his votes that were quote unquote good were in votes that didn't change anything. It's not like he is the reason, say, Pete Hegseth was the Secretary of Defense. He might have supported the vote to advance Hegseth's nomination, but it's not like he was the one Democrat that voted in favor of Hegseth and that's why he got through. No. These picks went through anyways. He just wants to look like a fake bullshit moderate to make his votes look decent. That's all it comes down to. So yeah, Fetterman might be done. The base is so deranged, they have convinced themselves of this crap. And they're going to go through with it. They actually take out John Fetterman. Good luck. Because I don't even want to know who they want to replace Fetterman with. Because there's some bad options in Pennsylvania for Dems. And more than likely, they're going to pick one of those nutcases. But we shall see. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.